I wouldn't say I could speak any Ghanaian languages fluently, but I understood Fante and I understood Tree as well. But certainly coming to the course helped me with speaking in terms of the confidence, even though just growing up in London I heard a lot of the words and so I understood a lot of them.
I started learning myself to speak Twi before I came to GLS. The reason I came to GLS was to get it a bit more structured and have more people to chat with and get it a bit deeper, as they say in Ghana.
I think it was meeting people in a similar situation to me in terms of being born in London and not knowing how to speak Twi.
I think I enjoyed the opportunity to ask questions from someone else who understood the grammar. So I think, when you're trying to learn a language through family and friends, it's a bit difficult when you ask technical questions about how the grammar works. I think what's good about GLS is there's an understanding of how the grammar works, and so you can ask the technical questions as well as the more obvious basic ones too.
Well, what I like about learning at GLS is the atmosphere is one of mutual support. There's no needless competition. Nobody's given bad marks or disciplined. That the idea is that we all come together, we're learning, we're practicing off each other, and it's for everybody's benefit. And I like the cooperating nature of the classes.
So it's very important to learn your mother tongue language because when I was younger I've been in situations where I've been listening to adults having conversation around me, but because I didn't have an understanding of the language, I'd only pick up one or two words here and there, which meant the dialogue was very difficult for me to interact and engage with my family members. So for that reason I think it's very important to learn your mother tongue language. Also, I've been in situations with, for example, when I went to Ghana, I was, people in the public would be speaking to me, I wouldn't really know what they were saying. I don't want to feel like a foreigner in my own country, so for that reason I think it's very important that I learn and actively pick up the language so that I can speak fluently and feel like I belong in my own country.
I definitely think it's important to learn your mother tongue language. I think it's important that you have an understanding of how they communicate and being able to express yourself in your mother tongue language, definitely.
I think being born in London, it's very important to learn your mother tongue because there's a disconnect when you're not born from Ghana to your parents, and so I think it's very important.
I found out about GLS through another Ghanaian networking group. So they advertised that GLS was having a Tree taster session. I attended the Tree taster session, enjoyed it, and then I realised that GLS was advertising Fante classes, so then I signed up to that.
It was a friend that recommended me to come to GLS actually. She had done her first semester and she highly recommended it. So I thought, well, do you know what, let me give it a try. There are very few places I think you can go to now in London to actually learn any Ghanaian language, never mind Tree. And so I thought for that reason, okay, I would give it a try and see how it goes.
I was at Ghana in the Park in Mill Hill in 2007, I think. Or 2008, and on the way home there were yellow little flyers stuck on car windscreens, and I nicked one of them. And when I got home I called up the number, and 6 months later a young lady called Naomi called me up and asked me if I was really interested in learning Twi, and I said yes, and I think 3 weeks later I started at the course in Dalston.
Personal recommendation. A friend of mine had been on a course, they told me about it, and that's really how I found out about GLS.
I can't really remember because it always seems to have been there. It may have been at one of the parties in the park, or perhaps I spotted you on Facebook or some other website. But I've been aware of you for some time before setting foot through the door.
Medasi to the Ghanaian Language School.
Afi Shapa.
Mepe Ghana, Mepe GLS, Medasi P.
Minyaji se mio GLS na meba kachre obia se umra.
Wache, mepe se wache para.
GLS aboa me paa. Metumi ka twi